Chicago doesn't just wake up to news, it wakes up to earthquakes. And tonight, Soldier Field is trembling with the kind of shockwave that makes the NFC North shiver. Levi Onwuzurike, the former Detroit Lion, the defensive lineman once drafted EEA to torment Chicago, is crossing enemy lines. He's coming to the Bears. Let that sink in, Bears Nation. For years, we've watched this kid line up in Honolulu blue, raw but full of potential, fighting to carve out his place. And now, the whispers are saying he's ready to put on navy and orange, to step into a defense desperate for grit, depth, and identity. This isn't just a move. This is a statement. A statement to Detroit, to the division, and to the entire NFL. Chicago isn't waiting anymore. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, your home for breaking stories, rumors that feel too real to ignore, and the kind of analysis that hits like a winter wind off Lake Michigan. Do me a favor, hit that like button right now, subscribe if you bleed navy and orange, and drop your first reaction in the comments. Levi Onwuzurike to the Bears. Dream, reality, destiny. Let's ride through this together, because tonight, we're not just talking football, we're talking about rewriting history. Think about the symbolism for a second. The Bears and Lions, two franchises that have lived side by side in this division for decades. Detroit finally built something last year, finally rose up to relevance. Meanwhile, Chicago has been clawing through rebuilds, torn apart by missed drafts and wasted opportunities. And now, one of Detroit's own, a young lineman they once invested in as a future cornerstone, could become a Bear. If that doesn't get your blood pumping, nothing will. Because this isn't just a signing. It's flipping the script. It's taking what once belonged to your rival and making it yours. Levi Onwuzurike's story has never been simple. A second-round pick in 2021, he entered the league out of Washington with high expectations. Explosive off the snap, relentless motor, the kind of lineman you thought could develop into a nightmare for guards and centers. But injuries haunted him. Back issues sidelined him for all of 2022. His trajectory stalled. In Detroit, where patience ran thin and the roster evolved quickly into a contender, Levi never fully found his rhythm. Yet flashes remained. Go back to the tape, look at the handful of games where he was healthy, you'll see disruption, quick hands, and the kind of energy Chicago's defensive front has been starving for. And tell me, Bears Nation, when was the last time we had true depth across the defensive line? We've been leaning on Montez Sweat since he arrived, watching him carry the load, begging for help on the other side. We've rotated names, experimented with schemes, patched holes with stopgaps, but there's never been consistency. Levi changes that equation. He's not just another body to rotate, he's youth, he's hunger, he's a chance to turn potential into performance under a coaching staff that knows how to unlock grinders. Picture Soldier Field on a freezing December afternoon. Packers across the line. Jordan Love under center. The snap comes. Hutchinson is collapsing one edge, Sweat is coming down the other, and there in the middle, it's Levi, firing off, splitting a double team, forcing Love to step into chaos. Sack. Roar. Fans shaking the stadium with noise that feels like a resurrection. That's not fantasy. That's blueprint. That's what this move symbolizes. A return to Bears football, defense first, punch-you-in-the-mouth football. And let's be real. Chicago isn't built for finesse. This city doesn't care about pretty schemes and high-scoring fireworks. It cares about defense, about monsters in the trenches, about making opposing quarterbacks regret waking up on Sunday. Levi Onwuzurike may not be a household name yet, but he fits that identity perfectly. At 6'3", 290 pounds with a first step that surprises linemen, he's the type of project that turns into payoff when put in the right culture. And under Matt Eberflus, in a locker room desperate for nastiness, he could thrive. Financially, this isn't insane either. Levi isn't commanding superstar money. He's a reclamation project with upside, the kind of move that makes perfect sense for Ryan Poles. Low risk, high reward. You don't mortgage the future, you don't blow cap space. You gamble on a player who knows the division, knows the opponents, and carries a chip on his shoulder after being cast aside by Detroit. Tell me that doesn't sound like exactly the type of risk Chicago should be taking right now, and think of the message it sends. To the Lions, your cast-off is our weapon. To the NFC North, the Bears are poaching from rivals now. To Caleb Williams, "We're not going to let you carry this franchise alone. We're building a defense that can get you the ball back, shorten fields, and keep games close. That's the formula. That's how you win in this league." But here's where the reality creeps in. As convincing as it feels, as logical as it sounds, Levi Onwuzurike isn't in Chicago. Not yet. There's no press conference, no contract, no jersey reveal. Right now, this is speculation, whispers from league insiders, dots connected by analysts, a dream that fans breathe life into because it makes too much sense. And maybe that's why it's so powerful. Because it isn't fantasy. It's not chasing some washed-up superstar. It's practical. It's logical. It's exactly the type of move a serious franchise makes when it's done pretending and ready to fight. Let me give you my personal take. If it were up to me, I'd make this move tomorrow. Too many times, we've seen Bears teams built on soft lines, teams that fold in December when the weather gets nasty and the games matter most. Too many times, we've wasted good quarterback play because protection broke down, because the defense couldn't get off the field. Levi is not a silver bullet. He's not the final piece that guarantees a Lombardi, but he's the kind of investment you need to make if you want to stop spinning your wheels. He's young, hungry, and has something to prove. And Chicago is the perfect place for players with something to prove. Yes, there's risk. Injuries don't disappear overnight. Potential doesn't always translate. But I'd rather take a swing on a player like Levi than sit back and watch another year of almost. This city deserves more than almost. It deserves effort, fight, and belief. And Levi represents that. He's not just another lineman. He's a chance to change the energy of this defense, to give Hutch and Sweat a partner inside, to restore the pride of a franchise that once called itself the Monsters of the Midway. So, Bears Nation, here's the bottom line. Levi Onwuzurike to Chicago is not official. Not yet. It's speculation. It's a rumor. But it's the kind of rumor that feels right, that feels inevitable, that feels like destiny waiting to be claimed. And maybe that's why it's spreading so fast, because deep down, we all know this is the type of move Poles has to make if he's serious about turning this rebuild into a resurrection. I'll be straight with you. Bears Nation, if this move were on my desk, I'd sign it in. Ink tomorrow. We've spent too many seasons living in almost, too many years watching Chicago defenses fight with one arm tied behind their back because the front never had enough teeth. Levi Onwuzurike might not be a superstar name, but he's exactly the kind of addition that changes a locker room. He's young, he's hungry, he's been humbled by injuries and setbacks, and that hunger is fuel. Pair him with Sweat, give him a fresh start in navy and orange, and suddenly this line stops being patchwork and starts looking like an identity. It's not about chasing headlines, it's about building trenches. And if we're serious about Caleb Williams thriving here, if we're serious about bringing back the soul of Bears football, this is the type of bold yet logical swing you have to take. Because let's be honest, waiting has never saved us. Playing it safe hasn't lifted trophies. Every time we've hesitated, we've watched Green Bay, Detroit, or Minnesota take advantage while we clung to mediocrity. That has to end. Levi isn't a gamble for flash, he's a gamble for foundation. And foundations are what win in December, in January, when Soldier Field is frozen and every snap feels like war. Personally, I'd rather roll the dice on a player with something to prove than sit back and settle for good enough. Chicago has had enough of good enough. It's time to swing, it's time to believe, and for me, Levi Onwuzurike is worth that swing. So let me ask you, Bears Nation, is Levi Onwuzurike the missing piece, the anchor that gives our defense real bite, the move that tells the league we're done waiting? Or is this just another off-season mirage, another story we cling to because it feels good, because it gives us hope, because it lets us believe Chicago can rise again? Drop your answers below, because your roar isn't just background noise. It's the heartbeat of this team. And in Chicago, when the fans believe, when the city demands, when the roar grows too loud to ignore, that's when speculation becomes reality.